So where were you at when you got the news?
Well, we were.
And what was your reaction?
Well, we were all in the offensive staff room, and we were all meeting with Coach Walters, and he told us the direction he wanted to take it. And at that point, you got to go to work as a collective group. This isn't just about a one-person change or one person taking the reins on it. For us, it's been a village. You can't to make the move that Coach Walt did. You really just got to put your head down and keep working.
Did he tell you privately, or did you find out in the meeting?
I found out in the meeting. Found out in the meeting same time everybody else did. And so, for us, it's we've been working as a collective group the entire season up to this point. So really, the workload hasn't changed at all for us. Throughout the week in terms of preparation and game planning, and we just got to go out and put our players in the best possible position to be successful this week.
Were you shocked to hear that?
I think when you're in the situation that we're in right now, it's more about like what are we going to do, and then we got to put a plan in place to go get to work, because the players, the program, the community, all of our people that support our program, deserve the best out of us week in and week out. And so for us, it's about putting a plan in place to go give our people what they expect, and quite honestly what we feel like the standard of Purdue football should be.
This probably wasn't what you expected to be doing for 5 weeks into the season when you came here. What do you feel like has prepared you to be ready for this? Well,
I think when you have 24 years of experience behind you, you've seen and done a lot, regardless of where it's at. When you get to game planning and you get to preparation, you lean on the people in the room that also have a lot of experience. And so again, for us, it's just been a collective group, and having the opportunity to lead people, whether it's the head coach at the high school level or leading my own room at the college level a year ago. You got to take from those experiences you got to take from those experiences what gets presented to you, and you just got to learn and build off of them. And for me, it's like it's been a village approach this week. We have really good football coaches on this staff, and for me, it's just being a spoke on the wheel and just making sure that we're aligned in what we're doing and the message that's getting communicated to our players and how we're executing on the field.
What was your first priority of what needed to be tweaked, altered?
I think when you get in a situation like this, I think the first priority is always the players, because those are the guys ultimately that are going to go out and that you're relying on to make plays on Saturday. And so for us, when we're meeting Sunday night and we're meeting with Coach Wald and he tells us, hey, here's the direction we're going, it's like, okay, like what do we do well? What do we know we can hang our hat on? And how do we go put our players in the best possible position to be successful this week at Camp Randall?
What can you build on?
Well, I think when you look at what we've done week in and week out through the first 4 weeks, there's been flashes of really good things. We ran the ball at Oregon State extremely well early in the season. That Indiana State game, I thought we threw the ball extremely well. Obviously, Huddy was 24 for 25 in that opener. We still got the same guys, and so like that hasn't changed, and we've had flashes. We've had good plays here, we've had bad plays. And so for us, it's just about trying to put our people in the best possible position to be successful. And so if you're going to do that, we have to understand what our players are good at. We have to understand their traits and what those traits are, and how we can maximize them as coaches. And that's where the focus has been for us this week.
You're going to be in the press box. Who will be sort of your guy on the ground that you're going to be talking to?
Well, it's going to be the whole village. We got all of our position coaches down on the field, and so those guys. Those guys are carrying the workload, and so, those guys are going to be able to relate and connect to the guys that they're in meeting rooms with every day, who they're coaching every day. And so for me, it's just putting the controls in, and trying to put our players in the best possible position on Saturday.
Has Ryan been more involved this week offensively?
Yeah, he has been, and I, in a lot of ways, I think that's been good, for us, because I think it's brought into a heightened sense of what we're doing and where we're headed, and I think his perspective from the defensive side of the ball, which is obviously where he's built the majority of his career, has been really invaluable for us, because he's come in and he's given us a different perspective on what he sees in our players offensively, but also just in terms of what we've been doing schematically, and where our tendencies are, and he's given us that perspective from a defensive side of the ball, and that's been invaluable for us. And I think you watch him as a head coach, and he's doing all the right things. And so for him to come in and tell us like, hey, here's what I'm seeing, here's what I'm thinking here, I think that perspective has been invaluable for us in preparation this week.
This is obviously a quick turnaround for you to just kind of absorb the news and get going. But is there anybody you reached out to this week for advice or perspective on how to get your feet set here?
I haven't had a whole lot of time to dig into my phone. There's a couple of people that I've reached out to personally. Mentors and good friends that just have perspective. And I think in life you always got to do that. When you get in a situation like this and you find out Sunday night and you got to activate the plan as quick as possible, the message we gave the players on Tuesday, with football, there's a lot of life lessons embedded in football, right? I think that's why it's the greatest sport out there. It's you don't have control how opportunities get presented to you in life. What you do have control over is what you do with that opportunity. And so for us, like we had to hit this thing rolling, and the circumstances aren't great. But if we worry about the circumstances more than the opportunity, then we're going to be behind. And so we've really tried to focus on the opportunity. I haven't had a lot of free time. I think last night was the first time I had a long conversation with my wife, for crying out loud. So, but it's like you get this opportunity, you got to go all in, and you got to do everything you can for the program and the players. And when you look at our coaching staff right now, we've been doing that, and I think it's a testament to their work ethic. They're one too, but you also look at how our players are responding this week, and I think it's a huge testament to those guys as well.
Ryan's talked about you kind of earn the respect of the locker room and the players. How have you been able to do that in just your 6-7 months here?
I think for me, like there's really three pillars for me. I want to show up. I want to work as hard as I can. I want to find ways to add value. And the last thing is I just want to go treat people the right way. And when I get out of bed and drive here in the morning, like those are the three things that are on my mind. Those are the three things that matter to me the most, because I think if you can do those three things and be consistent with it day in and day out, I think you're going to end up like building good relationships that are going to sustain the test of time, and you're going to be able to find ways to add value and work. And that's when at the end of the day, you got to be able to dig into people to be able to maximize what they can do. And if you don't have a relationship with somebody, it's going to be hard to challenge them. And so for me, like just building relationships is a priority, digging into people is a priority. Now we got an opportunity to go maximize them.
Just being a high school coach for as long as you were, what kinds of things does that give you, perspective-wise?
Well, I think it gives you a lot of perspectives. When you've had an opportunity like I have, I was blessed to be hired by 3 different high schools as the head coach. You got to stand up in front of people. You got to lead a room. You got to lead adults. You got to lead young people. You got to be able to manage a lot of different things, wear a lot of different hats. And so I think that perspective has helped in the transition a little bit of just being able to manage and juggle, because there's a lot of moving pieces right now. We're building this game plan up for our game on Saturday. And, it's just like we're talking to the players, like our final exams coming Saturday. Like we're taking a bunch of quizzes day in and day out. And so when you have 24 years experience at doing anything, you're going to be a little bit better and you're going to be able to take something from it. And not that I know everything, because I'm far from, but I also have perspective, and I think that perspective has allowed us to stay steady as a group this week, and continue to dig and to work to get better day in and day out. Because when you look at the first 4 weeks, we've done some good things offensively, but there's plenty of room for improvement as well. And so as long as we can keep the focus on getting better day in and day out, then I feel like we're going to have a shot to grow and do some really good things offensively here.
Why did you come to Purdue? Why was this the next step to come here as an analyst?
Well, I think when you look, when Coach Walters called me and said, hey, I have this opportunity, are you interested? And it took me about a 3.5-minute conversation with Coach Walters to believe in his vision, to believe in who he is. It gave me an opportunity, to coach football in the Big Ten. To be honest with you, when you're in one of the, you're in a Power 4 conference. It's my home state. I grew up here in Indiana. Spent 23 years coaching high school football here in Indiana, and it was just an opportunity for me to continue to grow and shoot my shot. And it wasn't an easy decision to leave Miami. That was my alma mater. Have a huge amount of respect for Coach Martin and the opportunity he gave me and the coaching staff there. But it was an opportunity for me to continue to grow and to shoot my shot and to challenge myself. And it's hard for us to talk to players or for us to talk to our own kids about challenging yourself and being uncomfortable if we're not willing to do it ourselves.
How many, if you even guesstimate, text messages have you gotten, phone calls?
Phone calls, not very many. you know, text message wise, at one point I think I had 188 of them unread. So quite a few over the last couple of days. You know, it's amazing how popular you become when something like this happens. You know, we just got to work to stay that popular, you know, and the way you do that is by putting our players in the best possible position on Saturday to have success and to maximize what they can do.
Anything else? Cool. Thank you, Coach.